couple of months ago, Barbara Stinson and I were planning on visiting your mom, and Wendy emailed back and said she was in the hospital, and we said, well, we'll see her when she gets home. Couldn't have possibly imagined when we had that conversation that 2 months later we would be here saying goodbye. When I first heard the news, I was shocked, and I still am shocked. It didn't seem possible. But here's what we do know, that it was a wonderful life. Your mom was loved, and she loved. She sang, she heard beautiful music, saw flowers and sunrises and sunsets. And even in places when she was alone, you in my heart helped me turn loneliness into precious solitude. What a wonderful privilege it was. I still have some concerns from the people in my family, for the world, for our planet. I put them in your blessed hands. I trust that whatever in the web of life that needed me to be there is now complete. I thank you for taking the burden from me. I thank you for keeping me in the light as I let go and let go and let go. And all of you know so well it was a wonderful life despite some hardship, a life of love and wonder, shorter certainly than anyone would have wished. But she was always surrounded by people who loved and cared for her. For 81 years, she graced our world with her loving, adventurous spirit and blessed so many. So we gather today mostly to celebrate a remarkable life. Certainly sadness has visited everyone here. But more than sadness, it is great gratitude that calls us here this morning. For we are thankful for the gift and privilege of having known and loved Judy. Her life, her love, her friendship has blessed all of us, and for that we will be eternally grateful. And now I'd like to invite Jessica forward to share some thoughts about her mother-in-law.
Hi, everyone. For those of you that I don't know, I'm Jessica. I'm Steve's wife and Judy's daughter-in-law. So I'll keep this brief, and I'll apologize in advance. I cry at commercials, so I will probably cry at some point during this. So Maya Angelou said, I have learned that people will forget what you said. They will forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. And in a world where mothers-in-law are a bit infamous, I am so grateful that Judy only ever made me feel like part of the family. I always kind of joked that I had won the mother-in-law lottery, and I think everyone here will agree that they won the lottery with having Judy in their lives, whether it was as a mother, a friend, a neighbor, or as a member of their congregation. It's rare that someone comes into your life who is as genuine as Judy was, as remarkably honest, but also so kind and generous. I know everyone here will miss her terribly, and I would like to invite you to think of one thing that Judy did or the way that she was in the world that really impressed you. I know it's probably hard to choose one, but take a moment, and if you have your phone or if you have a notebook, feel free to take it out and actually write that down. So I will give you a minute. I know everyone really wants to post a selfie, but hold back and just take your phones out to write something down. So I'll get us started, and I'll say, for me, it was the way that she really attended to the person that was in front of her. When you were talking to Judy, she had a way of making you feel like you were the most important person in the world. And when she asked you a question, she genuinely seemed like she wanted to know the answer. So does everyone have one thing in your minds? So with that, I'd ask that you, in honor of Judy's memory and in the light that she's shown in all of our lives, take that one thing and try to be more that way in your own life. Bring Judy's shining light into yours and shine it on those around you. Thank you so much.
So much I forgot I was supposed to sing right now. She used to sit back there when you would bring her in. Oh shoot, I'm gonna cry. She would always smile, and if I could get a little wave into her, she would wave back at me. And it was so nice, especially if I was singing a solo, knowing that I could look out there and always get a beautiful smiling face at me. Okay. Make me a channel of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me bring your love. Where there is injury, your pardon, Lord. And where there's doubt, true faith in you. A master grant that I may never seek so much to be consoled as to console, to be understood than to understand, to be loved than to love with all my heart. Make me a channel of your peace. Where there's despair in life, let me bring hope. Where there is darkness, only light. And where the sadness, ever joy. A master grant that I may never seek so much to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love with all my soul. Make me a channel of your peace. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned, in giving of ourselves that we receive, and in dying that we're born to eternal life.
My word was delightful, a word no one ever associated with me, so it's going to be a challenge, but I will try. Now, please join me in reading in unison the Psalm 23, which is printed in your bulletins. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. And now son Steve will come to share some thoughts about his mom with us.
So I once heard that the ideal life was to die young, as old as possible. In Junie's last years, she remained instructive. She taught us to be dignified, but never too serious. She taught us to approach each day with hope and to look for the beauty in each moment. She showed us that yes, you'll experience loss. Sometimes profound, sometimes very, very physical. But that loss will never define you. Judy loved to collect. I mean, she really loved to collect. When I was 12, 13, I was collecting baseball cards. And I gave up about 6 months in. 6 years later, she was showing me her Ken Griffey Jr. card. And she was very, very proud of that card because it could have been because he was a 6'2", beautiful athlete. It could have been because she knew it was rare. She loved to collect people. Somehow she amassed all of you. She loved to collect husbands. And can't complain. I got a sister out of the deal. I got 2 wonderful brothers, Chris and Andy, out of the deal. And then by the last time she went to collect a husband, Duncan Jones, they didn't do the marriage part, but it was another family that I got to experience. And in Duncan's loss, 2 years ago, I thought that was going to be it for my mom. Nope. No. She found things to look forward to every day. On our last days, we were by her side. She was mostly unconscious. But when she was awake, she was joking with the nurses, the doctors. She could make friends with anybody. She could connect personally and deeply with any human being that she met. I'm still trying to figure it out, 47 years later. What is that magic that she had in her? Was it the smile? Because I remember from theater days, from all the way in the back, I couldn't even necessarily see her. But what I would hear is smile, project, connect. And when she would move from the back of the theater, back of the church, this is back in a time when ladies wore pumps all the time. And those made a certain noise on the floors. And I wound up associating that sound of this power of this woman walking as both the embodiment of power and love. And potentially that I was in trouble. Potentially that I was in trouble because the swiftness in which she would move each foot forward through the halls could either mean that she was in a rush, or it could mean that I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing. But I'm still trying to figure out that magic. What was it? In those last days, we'll really never know what she was thinking. But I have some ideas. I imagine that she was thinking of her grand adventures, of the theater, of all of you, people she loved, people she collected. I imagine that she was thinking of her Cocker Spaniel buddy. I imagine that she was thinking of the two guinea pigs that she bought me when I was a kid. Those 2 guinea pigs, little animal. Before we had to give them up to the pet store, they turned to 30. I imagine that she was thinking about Duncan, who I know she wanted to see again. And I imagine that at some point in that final night, she thought, that'll do, Judy. That'll do. This is your final curtain call. And blackout. Thank you.
And now we'll sing together Amazing Grace, hymn number 547, verses 1, 3, and 5. now Wendy's going to share some thoughts with us.
Thank you all so much for coming up here on this awful day, weather-wise, I mean, but, you know, as well. And thank you. Thank you so much for being a part of this. I really appreciate everything you've done for my mom and I, and this church community that you've created is wonderful, and my mother really enjoyed being here. Thanks again, everyone. Thanks for supporting us. As you know, my mom was a woman full of joy and compassion, grace and courage. She was a great communicator, teacher, mentor, innovator, and friend. So many people reached out and mentioned how their lives were touched by my mother. She was a way of nurturing whatever talent you possess, even if you don't know that you possess it. She was able to get people to come out of their shell and create something beautiful. On stage, backstage, the boardroom, it didn't matter. All were created equal and were given her attention. Whether it was the youth theater she created, the Miss Marlborough pageant she directed, the variety shows for the Rotary Club and the church, creating Theater One, being the director of the Office of Cultural Affairs, running the Labor Day Festival, or working in public relations and patient care for our local hospital. Mom created bonds with people and gave them many opportunities to shine. I looked up to her so much. I wanted to be her when I grew up. I even let my 8th grade class know on career day that I wanted to be the director of cultural affairs. Well, looks the kids' faces were just like, blank, blank. Didn't matter. I knew it was an important role, an important place in our community, an important job, and an important person to cover it. Mom was always doing something creative. She painted, she played the piano, the clarinet. Thank God I wasn't alive for that part. She knitted, she sang, she danced, she acted, she cooked. She spoke eloquently in front of a crowd of people as a motivational speaker. And she always continued learning new things. Antiquing, collecting, animal rescue, more collecting, and travel became her creative outlet after the theater. She brought the gift of travel to so many of our friends. Anytime we went to Disney, which was often another one of my mom's passions, she would let us bring friends, our neighbors, my boyfriend. Later, Mom, Duncan, and I traveled regularly through Europe, Hawaii, the national parks. And as both their health started to decline, each trip we could complete strengthened our bond. We loved coming home and reliving the adventures and small miracles, like Mom walking up and over the Rialto Bridge in Italy, even though she was wheelchair bound. It was something she wanted to do for herself, and she did it. Plus, there were lots of hot Italian men helping her out. She always had something. So many times when things got rough, we'd cry out, "Rialto Bridge! We can do this!" Music was always in our home. We are a musical family. Parties with Mom meant that we would end up around a piano singing, whether German drinking songs, Broadway tunes, folk, country, easy listening. Mom would sing along and tap her toes. We would, every morning when we would drive here to church on Sunday, Mom would turn on the radio and just, she'd be so happy coming to church. Mom was very supportive of my brothers and I. Anything we wanted to do, she found a way to encourage us. Stephen's modeling, photography, music, computer work. My stepbrother Chris's bodybuilding, traveling, passion for medical biology. Andy, she loved the intellectual conversations you had and trekking with the Appalachian Trail. She was so proud of you. She would be sure that we had a place to come home to and a patient ear. One year when I was out on tour, she wanted to make sure that I could have our Christmas, traditional Christmas. So she kept the tree and all the decorations up until late February. So when I came home, presents were under the tree. But the tree was so dry. None of us stood around it. We were always worried that one spark from a static flame could light the thing ablaze. But I got my family traditions. She was a safe place to fall whenever we needed it. Same with her friends. She was a sympathetic ear, a much-needed cocktail, a hot meal, a bedroom to stay in, a home recreated to accommodate whomever needed it, for no matter how long. For the past 8 years, we lived together, first in Florida and now up here. I was not always a gracious person with my caregiving. But my mother continued to be rosy and optimistic through so many challenges. I'll never know how she remained so positive through each ordeal. She was so strong. I will remember her patience, kindness, the confident sound of her voice, the way she would sing songs, or if she didn't know the words, tee along. The smell of her cooking when I came home, the smell of her favorite pine incense, the smell of Chanel No. 5 on her clothing, the way she would light up when we would come through the door, the way she would gasp every time she saw a beautiful view, even if she saw it 1,000 times, the way her soft skin felt on my cheek when we hugged. It will be tough going into this next act of my life, knowing she won't be there. But as she would say, the show must go on. I love you, Mom. Now, we've put together something, as I've mentioned the theater crowd a lot. My mother directed Man of La Mancha. It's a beautiful show. And that one song, Impossible Dream, was so important to her. It was her mantra. It kept her strong. And I would love it if we could sing that for her. I would love to hear your voices. I would love to hear harmony. I want lifts. I want levels. So, I don't know, will the video screen come down? Sorry for the tacky karaoke. Oh, no video. We got the word.
It's going to be on Bluetooth over the speakers.
Okay,
When I hit this button, it starts quick, so I'm going to lead you. And if you want to stand, that would be awesome, because you'll sing better. All right, Judy, this one's for you.
Come on, Mama.
Ready? To dream the impossible dream, to fight the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave dare not go, to right the unrightable wrong. beautiful job, Wendy.
Would anyone care to share a memory?
So I didn't know Judy for very long, but I did know her enough to love her. And one day, we all went out to lunch, and I had gotten my tequila Cosmo instead of a regular one, and she was so intrigued that I had altered this classic drink. And she looked at Wendy, she was like, maybe I'll have one. And Wendy was like, maybe you won't, Mom. She was delightful, and, you know, I have a lot of social anxiety with meeting new people, but she just made it so easy to talk to her and have any kind of casual conversation. I didn't think that we'd be able to find any middle ground, but she found it right away and made me feel so much better with just going out and hanging out with her and Wendy, and it was just lovely to be part of that, even just for a little bit.
My name is Diane Marcotte. I'm one of the lucky ones that got to go to Disney. Wendy and I have been friends forever, for as long as I can remember, and Judy was my second mom. Her and my mom ran the Cultural Affairs office, and just like Wendy, I too aspire to be like my mom, and Wendy and I were going to take over the world. I don't have many regrets in life, but one of my regrets is that I did not keep in touch with Judy beyond the theater, our theater life. But she was just a star in my life, and she gave me so much in the way of confidence, and for all the time that I spent with her and Wendy, it was just always like family, and she will be missed very much. Love you, Wendy.
Anybody over here? Yes? No.
Girls, can you tell them how you know my mom and what you guys used to do?
Can I do that?
Go ahead, stand up. What?
So my name's Corey, and we live a couple doors down, a couple condos down, and we moved in a year ago. And the last couple of months of Judy's life, the girls were over like daily. In the last like week or two, Abby was over there playing with her, and just I think keeping each other, you know, company. And my regret is that I never met your mom. You get so busy with life, sometimes you just figure you have time. So when Judy was in the hospital, the Lord had put it on my heart to go in to pray for her, and something would happen, and then another day go by, another day go by, and even though I never met your mother, because of what she meant to my kids, it was like she meant something to me. And I'm not a, like, you know, people person, kind of, like, and so I really regret that I didn't go in there. Not only I met your mom, but be able to pray for her. But she just means a lot to our girls.
Abby would say she was her best friend. They would go and do puzzles together, and she's just always wanting to hang out with her. She's like, I'm going to go see if Judy's home.
How nice to have a friend like that. I like doing puzzles too. And I just want to say for Carolyn Ames, who was so sorry she couldn't be here today, how much we love your mom. Anybody else?
She made me laugh when your mom said, "I'll have a drink," and you said, "I don't think so, Mom." Oh, if you only knew. Oh, if you only knew when I would come take care of her while you were up here taking care of your stepmom. Some of the most fun times of my life. I was very proud the last time I was up here seeing her that she said I was a sister she never had. And I love her dearly, and I will miss her, and I'm also sorry I didn't get up here more. But you moved too far away. It's your fault. So, but I love her. Love you guys.
Rose to Gabriel. I just remember one thing. I went into labor. We lived in Worcester, and they were 5 minutes apart, the pains. And Dennis was driving, and then he takes a turn, and we went to Judy's, and I goes, "What are you doing?" So we go in, and Judy's looking at us like, "Dennis, what the heck are you doing here?" And Dennis says she's in labor. "Oh," Judy said. She said, "Well, Rose, we were going to have a baby shower tonight, but I guess we're not." And we didn't.
So she planned a surprise baby shower for you? Oh, okay.
My relationship with Judy was the most unique that I've had with anyone because she started out as Mrs. Wendy's mother when we were very small, and then Mrs. Roy, and then I actually worked with her at the hospital, so I got to know Mrs. Wendy's mother as a colleague, as a grown-up person. So she was actually the only person that I knew as a child that I could confidently say their given name without feeling really weird about it. And it was just never weird because the first time we were out in the smoking hut when she started working there, and I didn't know what to call her. I mean, we're staring at each other. I've known you my entire life. What do I say, you know? And she just like changed the gears, and now we're grown-ups and we're colleagues, and it was never awkward. There was never an awkwardness to the changing ways of our relationship, and I think it's fantastic because even I am friends with Judy, and I have affection for Wendy's mother. So I have an independent friendship with her, which has never happened with a friend of mine, and it's just a very unique relationship, and it was always okay. It was always fine. If I was like talking to her, even as an adult, as Mrs. Wendy's mother, relating stories of our childhood or talking about work, it was fine. It was all fine. It was good. She would roll with me, and I'm going to miss that a lot. I'm going to miss it a lot. I miss it already.
I didn't know Judy very long either, and I actually worked for her. But I remember the first time I went in there, I did some in-home care for her. I first walked in there, and you never know what to expect when you have a new client. And she just said, "Oh, hi, come on in, how you doing?" Like she's known me forever. And she always made me feel so welcome. It was just such a pleasure to go see her, and she talked very highly of you guys. She couldn't say enough good about her family. Yeah, so she, like I said, she was just such a joy to be around. Sometimes I felt bad going in there and getting money for doing work because she just made me want to help her. So that's about all I have to say.
Well, on behalf of Wendy and Steve and Jessica, I thank you not only for your presence here this morning, but for all the love and support you have shared with them and will continue to share with them. You're invited back to Wendy's house. She has that beautiful big window you can look out even if you can't go outside. And then go forth holding on to this idea that a life well lived doesn't end any more than music ends. It echoes through time with whispers of beauty and grace. If we listen, we can hear the encore in our hearts, for the song plays on as surely as Judy's love will always live on. Amen.